Well, hello YouTube, it's me, Fortmaster, and welcome back to another Chris Roomba reaction. And I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting this, this video to come so soon. But here we are, a random fact about every Deltarune song in Chapter 2. So, we are here at the time of recording 3 days away from the release of Chapter 3 and 4. God, so excited, and honestly, I mean, if it wasn't, honestly, and honestly, like, the next couple of days are going to be absolutely such a mess in our house, because we had a leak from the winter, and the people are going to be coming in to fix it, to, like, replace the walls and the floor on the Monday, tomorrow. So, yeah, tomorrow's going to be a lot of editing at the very least. But yeah, I really loved, just all the little tidbits from Chapter 1 that there were, because again, like, I've been watching a lot of these fact videos recently, but not a lot of them ever actually go into, like, songs. So the first one was also, like, was really cool. So honestly, with Chapter 2, I can't remember, I'm trying to think, like, are there more or less songs? I think there are more songs in Chapter 2 than there are in Chapter 1. So, this is definitely going to be a good one. Especially because a lot of the music in Chapter 2 is really good. So yeah, we should probably get this thing started. So yeah, of course, as always, original videos linked in the description if you haven't seen it for some reason. Corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day. And if you like this video or any other video that I make, I'd very much appreciate it if you gave the video a like and subscribe to my channel. Because my main goal for this year is to hopefully hit 5,000 subscribers, and at the current rate I'm going, that's totally doable thanks to every single one of you that, thinks my channel's worth subscribing to. Yeah, but with all that out of the way, let's get this thing started then, shall we?
This is one fun fact for each of the songs in Deltarune Chapter 2. These will be a bunch of random, niche pieces of trivia relating to the soundtrack, and you're bound to learn something new here. Comment down below what your favorite fact from this video was, but also, if you have any other fun facts I didn't cover here, feel free to share them with everyone. Anyways, let's get right into it, starting with one of the instruments used in this song is called Ethan's Glock. Like a glockenspiel, I guess.
Oh.
I don't know. I thought that was funny.
I mean, honestly, who makes these? Girl Next Door, lovely.
This song is labeled in the files as Noelle_school, despite the fact that it can also play at the end of Chapter 2 after fighting Giga Queen.
Okay, interesting.
The piano here has a particularly unique sound to it, and that's because this is the only song currently in Deltarune to use the Spitfire Labs soft piano instrument, apparently recorded on a dry stage in Air Edel Studios, London. How do people find out about this stuff?
Honestly, I mean, now I'm thinking about it, a lot of the facts in these point out that a lot of the instruments used in the music aren't from, the same place. And I'm just kind of thinking here, would it be better or worse if the music from, like, Deltarune, and I guess Undertale by an extension, was more, like, homogeneous? Like, they used more, like, a more limited instrument set? Or at least instruments from, like, the same sound fonts, if that's what is actually called, sorry. Because, like, at the same time, again, all the music in this game is absolutely wonderful. But at the same time, would a more consistent sound do it any harm? It's definitely an idea. I wonder if anybody's actually done that, like, recomposed the music so it's all more the same.
This song's name only quotes the first few seconds of this beautiful track. Also, this song is created entirely by somebody's real voice, and as such, one of the few Deltarune songs that can never be truly recreated.
Honestly, I wonder who did the voice. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Queen, or not Queen, Toby. I know, like, the laugh is, like, putting on the stereotypical, like rich anime girl, like, that thing. But, like, it very much sounds like it, like, even through, like, the modulation and the sounds and stuff like that, it very much sounds like it's a guy doing it, not a girl. So I very much believe that might have been Toby that recorded it and not anybody else.
This is the first song in the Deltarune soundtrack with a constantly varying BPM, or tempo.
Really? Like, what do you mean by constantly changing? Because again, I don't know about music composition in these programs, but I thought it would have been, you know, it's constant BPM, but you just, if you want a longer pause between beats, you just leave more beats unplayed or anything? Like, what do you mean that the actual BPM itself changes?
This one's actually really interesting. If you delete the track itself from the game's files, then the slide down to Cyberfield, where you normally dodge these bullets to the beat of the song, will actually go by a lot faster. I have no idea if this is like a failsafe in the game's code or something. I just vaguely remembered hearing about this a while ago in like a Shay VOD, but when I looked it up just now, I literally couldn't find anything about this. So I booted up the game and did it myself, just to confirm this is actually a thing, which...
Okay, so just watching it seemed like a lot of the beginning notes were just, like, a lot slower. That seemed like the biggest thing. So, geez, I wonder if... Wait, is it possible for, like, the game to recognize the actual beats in the music? And they're maybe possibly using the actual beats to tell the game, oh, no, drop one, and drop one, and drop one, you know, stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how well programmed Deltarune is compared to Undertale, but is that possible?
It is. It goes faster. This song seems to be specifically a chiptune arrangement of the scrapped Queen battle theme that was revealed in the Undertale 9th Anniversary newsletter.
Okay, I'm gonna have to compare that to the actual Mega Queen fight.
The singular cymbal crash at the end of this song is apparently from a Mega Man X drum set.
Okay, interesting.
Alright, let's see. Just so I don't make this whole video about sound fonts, this song,
Too late.
is 17 seconds long, so that would make it, like, the 5th shortest song in Chapter 2. I don't know, I don't have a lot to work with here, okay?
Come on.
This song is entirely comprised of samples of the Casio VL tone.
I mean, given what Sweet Cap'n Cake are, like, you know, I very much believe they could literally be just pieces of, you know, the Casio. I mean, so I'd believe it.
The brass synth in this song is detuned by about 220 cents, which is about 2 semitones, which you'll understand especially if you watch the Chapter 1 trivia video. I promise this one will get more interesting once we get to stop listening to Sweet Cap'n Cake's theme. Welp. This song's official title is the second longest in the Deltarune soundtrack.
Honestly, again, just this song or this sequence in particular, I forget whose fact videos I watched. Was it Shay? I think it might have been Shay's Deltarune fact video. But I still love the fact that if Chris dies in this battle, the dance happens, but they're just slumped on the floor. I still love that that's a thing. Like, that is, like, honestly, it's so stupid. I just love it.
This song apparently has the piano from Earthbound very faintly in the second half.
Okay, that's really random. And also, just thinking about it, there were actually, I mean, again, given that they're all kind of musicians, I guess it does make sense, but man, there's a lot of music related to Sweet Cap'n Cake, isn't there?
This is the first song in the soundtrack to literally just be 2 square waves. It's also the first song here to prominently feature a melody defined by its use of portamento, that being the smooth slide between 2 notes where intervening pitches are not clearly defined. This is also sometimes called glissando. Congratulations, you just learned some music theory.
Yeah, again, music was never my strong suit. Like, I was in the school choir in elementary school, and that's pretty much it. But thinking about it, again, like I talked about in the previous one, how like about like the history of like the limitations when it comes to like the music chip and stuff like that in the NES, and a lot of that is kind of like emulated with the NES as well. And I have to wonder, could you actually, like, they said, because they said that in Chapter 1, the only, like, song that could, like, authentically be played on, like, an NES was, like, Castle. So I wonder if Chapter 2, you could potentially do the same. Thinking about it, probably not, given that, you know, the whole Portello, or whatever it was called now, I'm completely forgetting it. But that would be, like, really cool if you, like, had like a mod of Deltarune where they just remade all the music to be as accurate or as physically possible to be as like authentic to like an NES or an SNES as physically possible.
This song is labeled in the files as Birdly_Chase, which seems to imply there might have been an original concept for this battle that involved an actual car chase sequence, or I guess roller coaster chase sequence, since I don't see how chase is relevant to the scene that we actually got.
Well, I mean, I could potentially, I mean, being very pedantic here, but I mean, Birdly is, you know, in front of you, and he's going backwards, and you're going technically behind him, as he's going this way, you're also going this way, so you're technically chasing him? It's, again, not really a good chase. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a standard battle with extra steps, but, you know.
Just like Darkness Falls, the original game over theme for Deltarune, Faint Courage is labeled in the files with the prefix audio_,
Whoa,
also sharing this trait with Another Hymn and Before the Story. Very, very interesting.
Okay.
This song uses a boatload of different sound fonts, many of which are new to the Deltarune soundtrack. These include the dog and cat synths from Mario Paint, as well as a whole separate Meow Synth plugin, and some Kirby and Earthbound sound font instruments. Most notably, this song includes instruments from Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, which marks the first appearance of a Pokemon sound font in either Deltarune or Undertale.
Huh, interesting. God, talking about like Ruby and Sapphire, that quite literally, thinking back, Ruby was my first game, like my first Pokemon game ever. I think I still actually have it. Let me double check. Here it is. Oh, classic. And it's been years since I've played this. And it's funny, I don't remember what happened to it specifically. This was the game that when I first played it, I didn't know you had to save manually, so I replayed like the beginning like hour or half hour like 16 times because I would close the game and I'd lose all my progress. But I don't know what happened. I don't know if the camera can see it in the light, but there is like a gash that goes across the cartridge like this. And again, like I have no idea what caused that. God, memories. Also, quite literally, the battery has been dead in it for years, so it doesn't save time anymore. I wonder how expensive it would be to get one of these screwdrivers and change the battery. Huh. Mini studio.
And we're back with the sweet Cap and Cake songs.
Again, I'm only now just realizing how much of the music is theirs. Like it's kind of nuts actually now that you think about it.
Awesome. But you know what? This one could actually be played on a real NES sound chip, similar to Card Castle from Chapter 1.
Oh, there
By
you
the way,
go.
if you
Okay.
haven't watched the Chapter 1 version of this video, you totally should. And if you have
Already have.
already, then consider checking out my other video talking in depth about how Toby Fox composes music. This song is literally just Sound Studio pitched up slightly and with the Jingle Bells melody instead. Thanks, Toby. This is just Attack of the Killer Queen bit crushed and pitched up by 800 cents.
Oh god, here we go. Good old Spampton. Just as a side note, like, thinking about it, like, out of all of the characters, in Deltarune, like, Spampton's gotta be one of those popular ones. And thinking about it, I have to think that, a good portion that comes from the fact that, for the longest time, he's been the last secret boss we've gotten, and with, it's been several years since, Chapter 2 first came out, so we've been just allowed to, marinate in Spampton. That sounded so wrong, sorry. But you understand what I mean. So I really have to wonder, with future chapters coming up, and an indeterminate amount of time, after Chapters 3 and 4, before Chapters 5 and beyond come out, I have to wonder, when we get more secret bosses, potentially, secret bosses for Chapters 3 and 4, like, who do you think Spampton will actually keep his popularity, or will it become more spread out as, more options become available? Or do you think Spampton, just because he's been so popular for so long, will kind of keep the momentum, so to speak?
This song was originally going to be Spampton's shop theme, but it was eventually replaced with dial tone to match the tone of its dialogue. This is the first song in the soundtrack with a BPM of 95. Isn't that interesting?
Man, okay, think about it. I mean, like, I love learning more about, the weird behind the scenes of these music. But you really gotta think, like, man, you're scrounging for details when you're just like, oh, this is the only song, or this is the first song that has this specific BPM. Like, has nothing else been said about this music, or, like, nothing else been discovered? Like, honestly? Like, that's actually kind of, like, interesting that there's, like, when you have nothing to say on a topic, or nothing can be found on it. That's your chance to be.
The main instrument in this song, originally from the Earthbound sound font, is a short sample from the opening theme of The Little Rascals, which sounds like this.
Jeez, okay, you can really make a sound font out of anything. Interesting. I always thought it was, like, that was part of one of those things that just kind of made Spampton sound even weirder, was that his music's always sounded off. Like, oh, there's always, like, two notes playing in, his regular battle theme and stuff like that. But the idea that it's literally just, old-timey show intro music that's been, like, heavily compressed and modified and stuff like that. Honestly, I mean, like, inspiration can come from anywhere.
The harpsichord in this song, which is from the Toho sound font, has its samples pitched up by 1,200 cents.
Bluebird of Misfortune, oh.
This song is labeled in the files as Birdly_flashback. Pretty interesting, considering there's a song called Flashback_excerpt in the files, which plays during Noelle's realization in the light world after the weird route.
Okay, so that's specifically Birdley's version. I wonder if we're going to get more versions of it, like for different characters.
The reverse symbol in this song is the exact same one used in Field of Hopes and Dreams.
Okay, honestly, going back to the whole, like, I think my favorite cover I've ever heard of that before, of, like, Queen's Palace, I'm forgetting what it was called now, but it was a version where they changed the timing. I'm forgetting what it was actually called, but it made it sound like it was a sea shanty or something. It was so funny. If I can find the video again, I'll put, like, a clip of it in, but, like, honestly, I just loved it.
This song is a reference to this YouTube poop video.
Okay, interesting. Well, I mean, okay, so actually, wait, Keygen, of course. What? Honestly, I never realized, I never connected the dots on the Keygen about, piracy. Okay, interesting. Okay.
The jazz guitar instrument in this song is from Super Mario World. The last time we had a Super Mario World instrument in the Deltarune soundtrack was Chapter 1's Thrash rating. This is the first and...
It's pronounced rules. Oh god, yeah, I still remember, like, when that was first one. I forget whether it was pointed out in the game or somewhere else, but that, the first time I discovered that Rules Card's name was literally pronounced Rules Card. Oh god, that, honestly, so, like, again, like, it's one of those things like Sham and Seam, like, oh, it's spelled Sham, but spelled Seam and stuff like that. And I really have to wonder, like, why did they choose such odd spellings for names when they're dealing with a purely visual medium here?
The only Deltarune song to have quotation marks in the title. There was an Undertale song that also shared this trait, Power of Neo.
Again, that does kind of make sense. So in Power of Neo, it's very much Neo, like, oh, it's new, quote unquote.
Despite being the second more gloomy Noelle theme in the soundtrack, this song is labeled in the files as Noelle_normal, suggesting that this is her main theme. This actually makes sense, since Lost Girl was actually teased by Toby Fox before Chapter 2's release as being Noelle's theme.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay, actually, I guess thinking about it, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Because, I mean, the whole thing is, for how happy of a face Noelle puts up, I mean, everything in her life is kind of falling apart, almost, like, very slowly. Like, again, you have the mother that's not really there, kind of fully absorbed in her work, big sister who's been missing for years, father in the hospital, potentially dying. So the fact that her main theme is so melancholy is like she's while she puts on like a happy face like nothing's wrong. Oh god, that's sad. Oh.
Despite being at a significantly faster tempo than Lost Girl, Ferris Wheel is actually only 1 second shorter.
Okay.
This song was composed by the person who made Pig Step from Minecraft. Thank you, Lena Raine. Their name is even in the credits of a Minecraft movie. I would know because I stayed till the end of the credits even though the lights in our theater had come on and everyone else already left. Also, this is the only Deltarune song to use the Commodore 64 instruments. That's where the drums come from.
What? Pig Step. What does that sound like? I cannot think of what that actually sounds like. Oh, that's this one! Okay, yeah, never mind. I don't usually collect the records when I play Minecraft. So it's one of those ones I've just never heard of unless it's in the background of a video. Which even then, I had completely forgotten this was actually from Minecraft. Jeez.
This song is literally the intro of the Scrapped Queen battle theme. It's also the only other song besides Welcome to the City to use Pokemon instruments.
Powers combined. Oh god, I love this.
This is the only song in Deltarune to use a Super Metroid instrument, the synth strings in the background, that for some reason aren't present in Knock You Down. That's strange.
Very weird.
Speaking of Knock You Down, the guitar, bass, and many of the other instruments here are, and I'm surprised to find this out too, specifically from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game, which confused me at first being such a deep cut, but then I remembered what this boss fight actually entails, and I have a renewed sense of appreciation for Toby Fox's commitment to the bit.
Oh god, okay. Okay, now that so remember what I asked at the beginning of this video? Talking about would it hurt, Deltarune to have a more consistent, sound style when it comes to music? And just from that one fact alone, I've come to the conclusion that yes, it probably would. Because then you wouldn't be able to have little jokes like that given the fact using Power Rangers instruments. Okay, I love that. That's good.
Unlike Deltarune Chapter 1 soundtrack, where every other song referenced Don't Forget, this is actually the first song with the main theme of the game since the menu music. We went an entire 35 songs without Toby Fox shoving the main theme of his game in our face. And I would say that's impressive until I remember that half of those songs were Sweet Cap'n Cakes' theme.
Again, why was so much Sweet Cap'n Cake music? Why? Wait, this is a song? What? Oh, okay. Wait, I was wondering. Oh, wait. I had the video muted. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, take two.
That half of those songs were Sweet Cap'n Cakes' theme.
Okay, this makes much more sense.
This song directly references You Idiot from Undertale. It's like literally the whole song, just that motif played on a low string instrument. I'm not sure what the implication is here, but that's cool.
I mean, it could be, you idiot, you idiot, what are you doing? You're actually doing this for this moron? Yeah, so, again, the you idiot motif, because, you're giving, this powerful weapon to somebody who's verifiably insane. What are you doing, you moron?
This song is actually just Spamton, like the song called Spamton, slowed down by exactly 3.1.
Yeah.
The part at the end here where it sounds a lot like Power of Neo is actually literally samples from the original Power of Neo, chopped up and rearranged. It really is just a glitching, corrupted Mettaton Neo reference, which I think is especially cool.
Yeah, given that it's literally Spamton, yeah, I can totally see that. Again, I don't know what goes into making these songs, so I thought it was just, recompose them like that. But if you're using, literal just, take the MP3, chop it up, put it in. Interesting.
This song is labeled in the files as Spamton_happy. Aww. The telephone sample in dial tone is actually a different sample from the ones used in any of Spamton's other songs. This one is from Toho.
What? I'm honestly trying to think of why you would do that. Honestly, if it doesn't sound any different, why do it? That seems like you're making extra work for yourself.
This is the longest song title in Deltarune.
Until next time, yeah.
This song is a chopped up remix of Don't Forget. But while the vocals are, of course, ripped from the Chapter 1 rendition, the piano here is actually being sampled from a song we haven't heard yet. Either a special arrangement of Don't Forget made specifically to be chopped up for this song, or maybe a future arrangement of Don't Forget that we'll get to see in a later chapter.
Really?
And would you look at that, we've reached the end of the Deltarune Chapter 2 soundtrack. If you haven't already seen the Chapter 1 version of this video, you probably want to go check that one out. And if you have seen it, consider checking out some of the other videos on my channel. I upload Deltarune content every single week. And of course, as this video releases, Chapters 3 and 4 are just a few days away.
God, honestly, again, so many things surprised me in this. Again, one, the fact that so much of the soundtrack is, something derived from Sweet Cap'n Cakes. I had never noticed or thought about that before. And also, the whole thing, the idea that using different, source instruments like that just as references themselves, because you already know that, Deltarune and Undertale, they're already very reference heavy. But the fact that, you know, you put that in so deep that you even include the music in that, honestly, so wonderful. I honestly want to be like, I want to be a fly on the wall, like when it comes to them talking about or discussing stuff about making this game, because honestly, there are so many things, like even just little things, like they sample a different telephone call in that one version, like what's the reason behind that? What was going on in Toby's head when he did that? Like so many little things, like again, the bigger things like, oh, the some music being a reference to Power Rangers, that I can get, especially when it's explained to me. But like little things like that, I want to know what's going on there. God, but yeah, that's definitely gonna be it. So yeah, I hope you guys liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.